Good morning, teachers and students. I'm Alexa Hernandez.
And I'm Annette Gomez.
Today is January 27th, and Mass News starts now.
Perfection is impossible. Everyone strives for perfection in one way or another. They want control over something as wild and unpredictable as life. These 8 students managed to do something that at first glance seems impossible. These students obtained a perfect score on the FSA. Let's learn more about how they accomplished this incredible feat.
Teachers are people that students interact with on a daily basis. After being with teachers for an entire school year, you'd expect to know everything about them. But students usually forget that teachers live outside the school. You wouldn't expect for teachers to do something as crazy as throwing themselves off a perfectly functioning plane. Well, that's exactly what one of our math teachers did here at Mass. Let's check it out.
Students really never think of their teachers outside of the walls of their classrooms. In fact, we rarely know what to do when we see them in the grocery store or driving home from work. I'm Julian Sandoval, and I'm here with your current event. You guys didn't expect that, did you? Mr. Rodriguez, our mass broadcasting teacher, recently went skydiving, which is way outside the comfort zone in his classroom. Most of us students think that skydiving isn't that big of a deal, but when you're going on a roller coaster maybe 150 feet up in the air, you get a big adrenaline rush. Imagine the adrenaline from 14,000 feet in the air.
Well, before you even put on your suit, you have to sign a bunch of paperwork, these contracts basically stating that if you die, you can't sue the company. So that kind of scared me in the beginning. But again, it's one of those things where if you convince yourself that giving up is not an option, then you sign the contracts and you take that risk. Then afterwards you put your jumpsuit on, and your instructor basically guides you as to what you have to do, how you have to place your feet when you land. That's very important. If you place your feet in an improper way, you can actually create long-term damage for yourself. So that's another thing to take into consideration. When we were starting to get into the plane, so we could start flying over, there were a bunch of people who were going to fly single. We were tandem jumpers, which means that we had an instructor with us. But there are many people who kind of graduated into single jumps. So imagine, at 14,000 feet, they open that door, and you have a bunch of professional jumpers just throwing themselves off the plane, which is kind of a scary thing to see. Meanwhile, I was strapped onto my instructor, and we were inching our way towards the edge, and I think that for me was the scariest moment of my life, because again, you're 14,000 feet, everything in the bottom just feels like, it actually looks like a world map. You're looking at a world map from that distance. It's pretty crazy.
What I felt, honestly, I felt extremely, it's the same sensation you get when you just leave a roller coaster. You feel extremely high octane, you feel, it's a crazy sensation. You feel very alive for those few minutes. I mean, the altitude is 14,000 feet, that's where you're falling from. So imagine, it takes 5 minutes for you to get from up there to the ground. So it was a very, very exhilarating experience. And yes, there's always that probability of danger, but for me it was well worth it, and I just, ultimately when I landed, I didn't regret my decision. Maybe beforehand I was very scared to do it, but afterwards I was glad I did it.
Well, it seems Mr. Rodriguez was not the only teacher that went skydiving in this school.
Well, there was this movie that came out in 1991, Point Break, and there's a scene where there's 10 skydivers, and ever since I saw that, I just felt like I needed to do it one day. So when I turned 23, I said to myself, that's going to be my birthday present. And so I did. And many of you were not even born when that happened.
Teachers, if you have any crazy stunts you have done in the past years that you can provide pictures or video for, please email masstv@gmail.com, or please speak to Mr. Rodriguez with more information on your stunt. I'm Julian Sandoval, and this has been your current event.
Honestly, that's one more thing to scratch off my bucket list. It's been there for a while. So I'm glad I did it. It was fun, and again, an empowering sensation, something that, proves a lot about life. It's very life-affirming.
Here at Mass Mass, we have a variety of sports, and one includes bowling. Speaking of bowling, Alexa, aren't you on the bowling team?
That's right. Speaking of which, I gotta go.
I joined bowling because, I want to try something new, and my advice for future oncoming bowlers are, first of all, you have to have a lot of endurance and be willing to practice every time. This practice be dedicated for the short season that's up ahead.
Football season is coming to a close, but there's still one more game that everybody looks forward to, which is Super Bowl Sunday. Let's hear more about the Super Bowl game with Mass Sports Center.
Super Bowl 51 is finally set. Hi, I'm Boogie Lambo.
And I'm Marco Valls, and you're watching Mass Sports Center. The Super Bowl matchup is set. The New England Patriots take off against the Atlanta Falcons in Houston. Super Bowl 51 will take place Sunday, February 5th. The Atlanta Falcons beat the Green Bay Packers 44-21 to advance to the Super Bowl round. The Patriots also beat the Steelers 37-16 to advance to the Super Bowl round. Now to get more information on the game.
The Falcons and the Patriots will face off. This is the Patriots' 9th Super Bowl appearance, breaking the Cowboys, Broncos, and Steelers all-time record. Brady completed 32 of his 42 passes in the Steelers game, and he threw for 384 yards. Hogan caught 9 passes for 180 yards and 2 touchdowns. In the Packers-Falcons game, Matt Ryan threw for 392 yards and 4 touchdowns. Julio Jones had a game high of 180 yards. This is the Falcons' 2nd Super Bowl appearance. We asked students and teachers prior to the game on Sunday about their predictions.
I think from the East, it's definitely going to be New England. Right now, I heard this morning that the Pittsburgh Steelers, a bunch of them have the flu, so they're kind of going in as underdogs. And of course, there's Brady. He's the man. And from the West, I am a Green Bay fan because I love Aaron Rodgers. And so I think it's going to be the battle of those quarterbacks. And ultimately, I think I know who's going to win, but who do I want to win? I really want Green Bay to win.
I think the Patriots and the Packers will be going to the Super Bowl because, number one, the Packers and Aaron Rodgers are on fire lately. They've won like 6 games, and each of them have been 30 points or more. And the Patriots are going to, with Tom Brady and Julian Edelman, they will probably most likely advance to the Super Bowl.
Thanks for watching.
This has been Mass Sports Center.
For watching, I'm Alexa Hernandez.
And I'm Annette Gomez.
Don't forget to subscribe down below and leave a thumbs up on Mass News.